5. Good evening, everyone. It is 4 o'clock. Let the record reflect that all committee members are here. And with that, I have the minutes of the April 20th meeting. For a motion.
Do I have to?
Yeah, if
I was. Then you just have to.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to approve the April 20th minutes as presented.
All in favor? Aye.
Yes. So I can still move it though, even though I mean, I can't vote on it though, right? Or do I have to pass the chair? Okay. Either way, it's done.
We did it. It's done.
Okay, first, anybody here for the public that'd like to speak on agenda items? See anybody? Okay, we'll move on to the first discussion action item. That's resolution E, Old Town Social District Boundary and Common Area Extension, Parking Lot 56 at Brenke Fish Ladder Music Park.
Good afternoon. My name is James London. I am the Executive Director of the Old Town Commercial Association. I'll be brief on this one. We're just here today to support the expansion of the social district through Lot 56 and involving the Fish Ladder Music Park. We're super excited about the activation and the rehabilitation of that space, taking it from a more passive underutilized space to an elevated, energized space for our community. We're hoping to develop longer stays, more foot traffic, and to further support that Lot 56 is a safe pedestrian passageway from Old Town to the Fish Ladder and then beyond. John Herman is here next to me with the Community Foundation, representing the amazing work that they did there at the Fish Ladder Music Park. And the first event is next Friday, May 29th. We're extremely excited about that and excited about the summer to come into the fall, working with Community Foundation. So yeah, we just want to take a moment to support the expansion. We have 2 new businesses they're at the finish line of their liquor license as well. So this will further support the kickoff of their post 5 o'clock and nightlife hours as well. So we're excited about that. So we appreciate the support.
Thank you. Where are the 2 businesses that you mentioned?
They will be Good Trucking. They are like I said, the finish line with their MLCC and liquor license process. And then the Unicorn is contracted and looking to reopen shortly.
Been pretty receptive as far as the expansion.
Absolutely.
Other businesses.
Yes. Yeah. And being a historical social district, the businesses know how to utilize the social district cups and perform that process safely and within the MLCC guidelines.
Now, I thought there was one person that came and spoke in opposition to this. Do you guys know anything about that? I thought he was like down towards Zuby's. Was it I'm not sure. I can't remember the name of the business or who it was, but I thought he was concerned just because it was such. I mean, I'm supportive of this. I just kind of would like to know if that was the only guy that spoke in opposition.
I actually haven't heard of any opposition to the expansion of the social district. We haven't expanded that way to the east. It still ends at Zuby's.
Okay.
So it wouldn't extend east down Cesar Chavez. It only expands south through Lot 56 and into the Fish Ladder Music Park area.
Good. Perfect. Do we have any questions or comments from committee members?
Might as well chime in since you mentioned it. So I'm John Herman. I'm with Community Foundation. I'm the operations manager. So I've been programming a lot of activities at the Fish Ladder, and I also work for Message Makers in production. And I'll just echo everything that you said. I have not heard any. I'd be very curious to hear anybody's opposition, just because I can't think. I've tried. Like I'm trying to think of what bad things could come from just extending the social district. No, I see it as a good thing, especially for businesses in Old Town, and being on the activation side of things, I'm very in touch with how things are being promoted on social media and on LansingRiverfront.org website that we just launched. And we're going to be putting blurbs out there like, basically suggesting like if people want to attend and want to have a beverage, you can go to any one of these places that's open, whether it's Urban Beat or Sir Pizza or soon enough Good Truckin' or the Unicorn. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's good for the community. There are going to be some occasions where we've got a partner that is that's got a liquor license, a temporary permit to actually sell liquor on the festival grounds. In those cases, those are usually like larger festivals, and in that case, we won't be able to utilize the social district, one or the other. But yeah, I'm for it. I think it's great for all of those events where we don't have an outside beverage vendor.
That's awesome. I commend you guys. I mean, that's pretty awesome what's going on with Old Town. You know, I'm born and raised here in Lansing, and I've seen, you know, like the vibrance back in like the 80s, and then, you know, then it kind of went downhill in the 90s, early 2000s, and now it's rejuvenating again. So good work on your guys' part. Very much appreciated. Look forward to seeing some of those festivals. And if I'm in town, I will definitely stop by. Is it this, what day is the first?
May 29th.
29th, that's the opening day. Star Farms playing.
Star
Oh,
Farms.
nice.
I have a very handy magnet on my fridge that tells me all the dates for the Old Town.
Should have brought more tonight.
Okay. Well, see no further discussion. Look for a motion.
Move the resolution.
Okay, we have a proper motion in place. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion passes. That will be up for final action this evening. Thank you very much. Okay, moving down to Resolution C, setting a public hearing on obsolete property rehabilitation act. That's Oprah District 2231 West Willow Street, AM Land Holdings LLC. Who's here to speak on that? Mr. Klein, come onto the table, please.
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
So here to discuss the Oprah District 2231 West Willow Street. Provide an overview of Oprah. It's been a couple of times I've gone through the process, but it is a two-step process before a certificate is granted. And so the district being the first part of that. It is a tax abatement. So it essentially freezes the taxes at the current value of the property. So the property that we're here to talk about today is 2231 West Willow Street. It's actually the parcel right, I think, on the edge of the city limits. And it's an industrial area. So with me today, I have Connor Zook from Triteros helping to consult on the project, and then Joe or Joseph?
Yeah, Joe's fine.
Okay, Joe Brooks, who's part of the development team for the property. So on page 5, giving you just an overview, overhead view of where the property's at, where it's located. So it's on Willow Street, just north of Dunavac Park. So if you're familiar with where the Racer Trust property is, it's right in that area. So currently a vacant property. You can see some of the outside there, but there's a lot of work to be done inside in order to allow for activation of the site. What the developers, the applicant's looking to do is to put in a auto body and a paint business, and then also have like a body repair shop on site. And so that business is a Mako franchise.
Sorry, what franchise?
Mako. Yeah. You'll be servicing kind of fleet vehicles as your focus. And it's, yeah, I think both the development team, experienced entrepreneurs. So able to back this, but there is some significant conditions on site why we are pursuing the Oprah. And you can see that on slide 6 of the presentation. So there is some contamination on site. So we're also working with the applicants to fund a vapor barrier, going after some Eagle grant dollars to make it safe to have folks working in the space, but also the mechanical systems need to be replaced. There aren't any bathrooms within the space, and then there are structural roof issues. And so some considerable investments needed in order to bring that project back up to, again, a condition to operate within. Is there anything you'd like to add on who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so my name's Joseph Brooks. I'm one of the owners or developers. Brent, the other half, is actually out of town for his daughter's high school graduation in open house, so he sends his regards. But as far as a little bit about us, we are both entrepreneurs. Both of us have separately our own transportation companies. We operate our own fleets. In the city of Lansing and the surrounding areas, there's definitely a need for better servicing of fleet customers that inevitably service the community, whether it's plumbers, construction companies, freight companies. A lot of our vehicles tend to get locked up at our local vendors that are not attuned to the fleet business. We are focusing on that because we understand that uptime is important to be able to service their own businesses. And it's very expensive to have a vehicle down. Not only are you paying for the payments, but you're also paying for a replacement vehicle. So we're focusing on that, but we're not just doing that. We're also doing any sort of vehicle that comes into our business. We are focused on taking care of the community at large. That is actually one half of the building. The other half of the building, we're also planning on doing auto parts business as well. This building has a long history with automotive. As he mentioned, it's deeply contaminated from his automotive past. There is like within our development price point of about 700,000. That doesn't include the vapor mitigation system, which we expect to be as much as 200,000, if not more. We also are on the final stages of getting permit approvals with the city of Lansing. And through that process, we learned that there's further mechanical upgrades that we need to make. It's going to drive the cost 75,000 more. So we're excited about this opportunity, but we're also, honest about we really are trying to bridge the gap in funding, and this would really help us out to do that. So that's a little bit about us and the project. As far as employees go, this is something that hasn't been in Lansing, so it's true job creation. We're expecting on both sides of the building to be around 30 jobs. For the most part, it is skilled labor. There are a few unskilled positions, but we suspect our average wage is going to be far greater than the average wage here in Lansing. So some of our positions are going to be as high as 6 figures plus. The majority are going to be in the high 5 figures. So we believe it's going to support a lot of great economic activity.
This is just the request for the district. They can begin renovations if needed, while also pursuing the certificate at a later date.
Okay, perfect. Tamara, so you have a question?
Yes, you said you have you own other transportation companies. Are those locally?
Yes.
In Lansing as
Both,
well?
yes, both station and Lansing.
And then, which primarily is going to be focusing on fleet transportation.
That's where we see the opportunity, but I definitely don't want to stress we're only doing fleet. We're definitely doing any vehicle, any passenger car, but we see an opportunity within the fleet space, and we are looking to go after that primarily.
And then the capacity within this unit, is it conducive to how many vehicles you plan on bringing in roughly?
It is a little bit larger than the typical shop, and that is perfectly fine by us because we're going to be ideally doing a larger vehicle than a typical vehicle. So we need more space. It also allows us to grow a little bit more than the kind of the base level expectation. We have high hopes, and all of that coming to fruition. This provides the space that we need.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you're anticipating about $700,000 in like remediation. Is that based on like an official quote or an estimate that you're doing yourself?
So the 700,000 is just the renovation. The remediation portion, the vapor mitigation, Connor can speak to price per square foot, but I believe it's around, it's a very wide range, as low as 150 to as high as 250, correct?
Yeah, it varies from about 7 to 12 per square foot. There is an existing system in a part of that building. But when we took a look at it, it definitely needs to be upgraded to fit the rest of the building when we do go in and put a system throughout the portion that doesn't have one.
And then the type of business we're doing, it also requires a lot of air ventilation. So that's what I alluded to, what's not on paper. A part of that 700,000 is additional equipment upgrades that we have to do to ensure safety of our employees as well. So
How long has this building been offline for? Anybody knows?
if not decades there. So from what we understand, it was a illegal marijuana grow operation for a few years, not too long ago. Prior to that, it's been decades. The businesses that I'm aware of, it started off as I believe a mattress and seat manufacturer back in like the 1930s. And then in the 70s, it transitioned to a metal treatment type of business. And that's where the significant amount of contamination happened. So, but since I want to say the 90s, it's been basically vacant.
So with the vapor mitigation system, you're not looking to truckload all the contaminated soil, you're just putting just like a rubber membrane over top of it and.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you bringing a building that's been offline for quite some time back to use. And you mentioned you have two other businesses in Lansing. What are those?
So mine's transportation, my partner's is transportation as well. The automotive parts business, and then my partner also does a dessert franchise. That's not in Lansing.
Okay.
So
What's the name of the auto one that you're talking about? The one that's in Lansing.
Willow Street Motors.
Okay.
$30 jobs is also pretty substantial.
Yeah, good paying jobs. So this will be setting a public hearing for June 8th. Will you guys be there if there's any questions? Actually, we're setting a public hearing June 8th. That's typically when I have them come.
Yeah, usually have them come.
So are you available on June 8th? Will your partner be available?
Yes, both of us.
Okay, great. Okay, well, that will go to the 7 o'clock meeting, June 8th, and look forward to having you guys some deeper discussion with the rest of council. Do we have any more comments or questions from committee? See no further questions. I look for a motion then.
Solution.
Okay, we have a proper motion in place. All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. Motion passed. Perfect. Okay, we'll see you guys on June 8th. Is there any other business before the body? You know, the business, we are adjourned. 18.